What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Nicole with SewGnar Sewing Patterns, and we are about to embark on yet another video in the series for 12 Days of Christmas. Now, as promised in yesterday's video, today's video goes hand in hand with it. So hopefully you saved a little bit of that fabric that you made some napkins out of, because today we are making a washable, reusable placemat. So these little placemats are so much fun to make. You can do some fun quilting on it. You can really flex a lot of skills that we don't get to. As bag makers, we don't get a whole lot of opportunity to do like fun quilting and mitered corners and folding over the edges. Like, we just don't get to do stuff like this if you're a strict bag maker. So I hope that you enjoy this little one. This was a last minute addition and I'm really excited about it. So you can really customize this so many ways. If you don't want a placemat, you can turn it so that it's vertical and it's taller, and you can make it into like a miniature quilt or a wall hanging. You can do applique, you can do reverse applique. You can put a piece of vinyl on top, and then just like our gift tags, give the kid some wet or dry erase markers, and then they can decorate their own placemat. I think that would be a lot of fun. So another option is you can dig out your scrap bin, cut out a piece of interfacing, and then just do a quilt-as-you-go design, and then trim it down to square it up, and then continue to finish it just like we are going to in the video. You can really use your imagination and get creative with this. You don't need to be confined to my one idea of a placemat. Use this as a springboard for your own imagination. If at any point you are enjoying this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. And of course, if you are making any of these projects, please, I'm practically begging, be sure to post them in my Facebook sewing group so that we can all see. You have to come share with the class, okay? All right, have fun, and I'll see you at the end. Now, to give my placemat the quilted effect, instead of using regular traditional batting, I decided to use Insulbrite. Now, this is a material that has a thin sheet of Mylar infused in between two layers of batting, and so it makes it heat resistant up to 400 degrees. And I thought that on a placemat it would be nice, because what it'll do is it'll block the heat from whatever plate or bowl is on top from transferring to the table itself. So I have cut a piece that is the same size as my topper section here, and we're just going to create a little sandwich here. This essentially is going to be like a miniature quilt, is what I'm thinking, but it will be a heat resistant miniature quilt. Kind of like a large pot holder. I mean, really, you can change the size and play with the shape of this and make whatever you want. But I'm going to treat this essentially like a little quilt. So I have my backing fabric here. I have it ironed and pressed and all of that. And you can see I'm leaving it large, and I'm leaving a nice large border because my intention is to fold the bottom up and fold it over like we did on the napkins. I want to do the mitered corners here. So I'm just giving myself a wide area, a wide berth around the corner, around the edges to work with. And I'm just going to lay my topping piece right side up on top of my Insulbrite, on top of my backing, and the backing is right side down. And so you can clip, pin, or glue, or tape, or whatever you want to adhere these layers together. But what we want to do is go and quilt all of this together. Another reason why I'm leaving an extra wide berth around my edges is so that if there's any shifting or shrinkage that happens when I'm quilting, I can still have enough of a border to work with in order to bind my edges. So for now, I'm just going to adhere all these together, and then I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to do some funky stitches to sandwich all of these, and then I will show you how to do your edges. All right, so we are all quilted, and I trimmed up my backing so that I didn't have that giant piece anymore. Now the size that you trim your backing to is totally up to you. I'm going for about a 1/2 inch overlap, so I trimmed mine to 1 inch from the top piece's raw edge. And we're just going to fold it in half and then fold it up. It's pretty straightforward and simple. The part where it gets a little bit tricky is going to be here around the corners whenever we're trying to figure out the miter. So for now, I'm just going to iron this in half and then roll it up like so. If you have glue, you can use that here to hold it in place. Otherwise, you can use clips or whatever, pins even, since we're not doing any cork or anything like that. All right, so we are here to our first mitered corner. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to give myself some folding space here. But so we have the double fold here on this long edge. Now what we need to do is we need to fold this bottom right corner. We're going to fold it to create a triangle. So the folded edge of the overlap of the backing is going to now fold up in line with the raw edge of this top section here, just like so. I'm going to iron to hold that in place. Just like that. And then what we do is we're going to work on this side, and we're going to begin with our half fold and then fold all the way up. All right, so we're down here to this corner, and what you want to do is fold it to where the folded triangular edge on this right-hand side creates that nice middle fold on the miter. Now mine is a little bit off. It seems like my backing might be a little bit wide, but I'm just going to do the best that I can and create a nice little folded mitered corner down here and then clip it into place so that it looks like that. All right, now that we have this edge done, I'm going to flip and work on this long edge. So we're here again. We're going to take this folded edge and fold it up so that it aligns with the top piece raw edge, and then iron this into place, creating that little triangle. And then fold this entire length in half and then up and over once again. Get a real feel for how off my backing is, how skewed it got while I was quilting it, but we're just going to lean into it. I don't think the recipient of this placemat is going to mind. Okay, so we have the 3 sides, and now we are getting over here to where we're going to have to do the same folds that we did here and fold them up. We're just going to have to do it on both of our corners here. So I'm just going to start. But I'm just going to press all this down again to remind it where I want it to stay. Give myself some more room to work by moving the clips. Okay, so once again, outside folded edge, fold into a triangle to where that folded edge meets up with the raw edge of the topping piece, the quilt top, placemat top. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Fold in and over. Okay, and then just like before, we're going to fold in half all the way and then roll up and over just like before. robbing Peter to pay Paul with my clips here. All right, so now we've got our binding folded up and over and it's ready to be stitched. If you have any corners that look a little funky, just go back and rework them and give yourself some time to figure out that pointed edge so that it lays exactly how you want it. And then another thing that I'm going to do before I go top stitch this is I have these really cute little tags from Kylie and the Machine. It says, Auntie made it and she loves me so much. And so I figured I would pop this into one of my seams because just like most things I make, this is going to my nieces out in Washington State. So I'm just gonna put that right there, tuck that right into the binding. And now I'm gonna go and top stitch 1/8 seam allowance from this inner edge here. I am so excited to gift both the placemat and the coordinating napkins to my sister and my niece this year for Christmas. I hope that you love this project as much as I did. If you have any good ideas on how to package these that's really cute, let me know down below. I'm all ears. I always have the hardest time figuring out how to wrap these for selling or for gifting. So let's brainstorm together. All right, folks, I will see you back here tomorrow for another video in the 2025 12 Days of Christmas video series. Later.